Archangel Michael says, the silence surrounding your son's situation is more dangerous than you think. For days now, things have been happening behind closed doors, hidden from your eyes and your heart. Someone around him has planted a seed of destruction, and time is running out to stop it from growing. Something is being whispered about your son in places you would never imagine. A name keeps showing up, attached to a situation meant to trap him in shame and guilt. He is being drawn into a scheme that doesn't reflect his truth, but someone is determined to make it look like it does. It didn't start today, nor yesterday. This has been building for months. He trusted someone too quickly, too deeply, and they now hold a piece of information that could hurt everything he's building. That person smiles in front of you but acts like a shadow once your back is turned. Archangel Michael says, a spiritual surveillance has been placed around your son. But protection is not enough if you don't open your eyes to what is really going on. His silence is not strength, it is fear clothed in calm. Type Amen to get blessing 333. There is a woman who has been pretending to help your son, while she's really setting up a trap. Her involvement is subtle, too subtle, but intentional, and her influence is beginning to twist how he thinks. She plays the role of the innocent, but her eyes are watching every move he makes. Your son may have recently started acting differently, more withdrawn, more reactive, more distant from his usual peace. That is not a phase, it's the result of a spiritual attack planted through manipulation. Something has been placed into his environment to weaken his focus and disturb his energy. There's a message that was supposed to reach you earlier, but someone deleted it. A truth about your son's safety, about a meeting that happened without your knowledge. He wasn't supposed to be there, but he was invited, and what happened during that moment is being hidden even from him. This is not the kind of situation that will solve itself with time. The more time passes, the deeper the roots grow. You need to move now, spiritually and physically, before this turns into a storm that takes more than peace, it could take his future. Type Amen to get blessing 727. He tried to open up a few weeks ago, but the words froze inside his chest. He's carrying guilt for something he didn't even do. And the worst part is, the one who started it is feeding the lie to others, spreading stories behind his back. There's a friend, at least that's what your son believes they are, who is secretly recording him. Conversations, reactions, even personal notes are being stored to use later. That person is jealous of your son's light and wants to dim it slowly, without leaving visible fingerprints. Archangel Michael says, your son has been chosen for a divine task, and that's why these attacks are intensifying. He carries a gift inside him that the enemy has recognized. And so, they are doing everything to confuse his heart before he discovers the truth of who he is. There are certain people your son should avoid immediately. One of them has a fake smile and always brings stories that disturb your son's peace. They appear like they care, but they carry chaos in their hands. Type Amen to get blessing 404. Someone tried to access his personal information recently. A device was tampered with, and a sensitive message was forwarded to the wrong person. That message is now being used to twist the narrative of who your son is. There's a plan being made to bring legal attention towards your son in the coming weeks. It's not real, but it's made to look like it is. A false accusation is brewing, planted by someone who wants revenge for something your son didn't even do intentionally. Your son's eyes don't lie, he's in emotional pain. He's losing sleep, and he's pretending it's school, work, or pressure. But deep down, he's wrestling with a war of silence. The location where he spends time recently has been compromised. There are photos, movements, and names being tracked from a distance. Someone who should have protected him is watching him instead like prey. Type Amen to get blessing 555. A family member once warned you about someone, but you didn't take it seriously. That same person is now getting close to your son again. And this time, they're not just coming with words, they're coming with an agenda. Your son carries emotional wounds that you have yet to see. Not because you're blind, but because he hides them well. He's protecting you from his truth, thinking that if he tells you, it will only make things worse. Archangel Michael says, the time to protect him is now, not tomorrow, not later. There is a shift happening in the spiritual realm, and your son is at the center of it. His life force is calling out for divine justice and real protection. A signature was used recently, pretending to be his. It might show up in a few days attached to something dangerous. Someone is framing him for something, and the trap is already halfway closed. Type Amen to get blessing 101. There's an energy around your home that changed after a specific visitor left. That visitor left something spiritual behind, which is affecting your son's aura. He is absorbing a heaviness that was never his to carry. Your son is going through a test that isn't academic. It's emotional warfare disguised as friendship. He is surrounded by two-faced smiles and people who only clap when he falls. An opportunity that was supposed to reach him was intercepted. A message was rerouted, and a call was never made. It was a chance that could have helped him escape this circle of pain. Someone knows your son's weakness and is using it to control him. This isn't just manipulation, it's emotional blackmail. Your son is being made to believe he has no choice but to obey. Type Amen to get blessing 212. Your son's name is in a conversation group that he doesn't even know exists. They speak of him with words that distort his identity. They are using his truth as a weapon against him. A location was tagged recently with his picture without permission. It was meant to mislead others, to create a false impression of who he is and what he's doing. That image is circulating, slowly spreading like poison. There's a woman who is older, and she pretends to be a mentor to your son. But she is obsessed, and her obsession has now turned into something dangerous. She sees him not as a student but as a possession. Archangel Michael says, someone you trust is giving information to people who wish your son harm. They are using casual conversations to collect details. Every little moment is being remembered and used for something darker. Type Amen to get blessing 888. There's a paper trail being created to link your son to an account he never opened. Financial transactions might show up soon in his name. It's a setup that's meant to destroy his credibility. He walked into a place recently where he felt unsafe. That was not by chance. A person who hates his light invited him into that space, hoping something would go wrong. Your son is connected to a dream that's still possible, but he's about to give up. He believes it's too late, but the truth is, this battle was meant to make him stronger. If he survives this storm, his future will shine even brighter than you can imagine. There's a key your son lost, something physical, but it's tied to a spiritual door. It wasn't just a key, it was a sign. And the one who found it isn't planning to return it. Type Amen to get blessing 666. He's being followed, not in body, but spiritually. Every step he takes feels heavier because of it. He needs cleansing, a break from the places and people who have attached their negativity to him. Your son was chosen. And because of that, enemies saw his crown before he even wore it. They are trying to steal what hasn't even been fully born in him yet. Archangel Michael says, someone is watching from afar, plotting your son's downfall like a movie script. But divine fire is rising to burn their plans to ash. Still, you must not ignore this warning. There's a photograph taken recently of your son in a vulnerable moment. That image is being used to spread false rumors. The intent is to make others doubt him, even the people who love him. Type Amen to get blessing 000. There's a small object in your home that doesn't belong there. It holds energy that's affecting your son's mood and spirit. It may have been placed accidentally, or not. His phone or device was recently cloned. Messages that were supposed to be private are now in someone else's hands. And they plan to twist the meaning of every word. Your son will face a choice soon that seems small but carries a huge consequence. One wrong move, and a domino effect begins. But if you're alert, you can stop it before the first piece falls. Your prayers are building a shield, but now your actions must follow. Speak to him, not just with words, but with presence. Let him know that you see him, even when he tries to disappear. Type Amen to get blessing 909. The one who wants to harm him knows your routine. They are using your love against you. They're counting on you being too trusting, too slow to act. But this message reached you in time. Not by luck, but by divine command. You were meant to open this and know. Move now. Speak now. Protect now. Type Amen to get blessing 3333. Your son may have recently noticed things around him changing too quickly, people acting strange, plans being cancelled, moods shifting for no clear reason. These are not coincidences, they are signs. Someone is working in the background, using influence and lies to pull your son into darkness while making him believe it's just life being tough. A young man who used to look up to your son is now being used against him. Jealousy has turned into manipulation, and that young man is feeding private information to someone much older and more dangerous. They're building a false case against your son, collecting digital breadcrumbs and twisting them into something sinister. There's someone in your family, someone you would never expect, who is helping spread these lies. They pretend to be proud of your son when you're around, but their words change when your back is turned. They speak with venom dressed as concern, poisoning the ears of anyone who listens. Archangel Michael says, the truth is getting ready to erupt. The person who started this will soon trip over their own deception. But before that happens, you need to spiritually pull your son out of this invisible fire. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. He's had dreams lately, strange ones, filled with shadows, chasing figures, or voices that leave him waking up in fear. These are not just dreams. They are warnings from the divine that something unseen is surrounding him. There is a phone call coming, within days, that will try to shake your peace. The caller will pretend to be helping, but the words will be laced with blame, false accusations, or hidden threats. Do not believe everything they say, because what they're hiding is far worse. Someone borrowed something from your son recently and returned it broken, or never gave it back. That item wasn't valuable on the surface, but it was connected to a memory, a promise, a truth that only he knew. They destroyed it to make him feel powerless. Your son is carrying a silent scream in his chest. He wants to be strong for you, so he hides it behind laughter and long silences. But that scream is getting louder inside him, and if it isn't released soon, it could explode in dangerous ways. Type Amen to get blessing 878. There's a message he wrote and never sent. It's still saved in his phone or notebook. If you read it, it would break your heart, but also open your eyes. Someone offered him something that looked like a blessing, but it came with a curse. It might be a new friend, a gift, an invitation, or even a promise that seemed too good to be true. And it was. There are footsteps following your son, both physically and spiritually. He may feel like he's being watched, but he won't say anything because he fears sounding crazy. The truth is, he is being monitored by someone who wants to learn his weakness. The location he visits most often is now known to someone who wants to trap him. They're not ready to strike yet, but they are observing. Gathering details. Planning. Type Amen to get blessing 1444. You've been feeling uneasy too, haven't you? That uneasiness is not paranoia. It's divine intuition alerting you that something is terribly off. Your son is being told to keep secrets, even from you. They're making him feel like sharing the truth would disappoint you or hurt you. But that's part of the trap, to separate him from the one person who could help him. There's a girl involved in this matter. She pretends to love your son, but her love is filled with control and manipulation. She's the one behind many of the emotional storms your son is going through. You wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, there is still time to break this chain. But you must act spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Your son must know he's not alone in this fight. Type Amen to get blessing 202. An online account tied to your son has been accessed by someone else. Information is being leaked without his permission. And the consequences may start showing up in places you'd least expect. There's an older man, possibly from the neighborhood or extended circle, who has an unhealthy interest in your son. This person is trying to mentor him but is guiding him into confusion, pain, and dependency. Their influence is dangerous. Your son may have spoken to this person, thinking they were safe. But now that connection is being used to pull your son into promises he never agreed to. Promises that come with a price. Someone recently took a picture of him when he wasn't aware. That picture is now being shown to people you don't know, in conversations that aim to twist the truth and build a lie. Type Amen to get blessing 717. There is an object in your son's room that doesn't belong there. It could be a gift, an item passed through someone else, or something he brought unknowingly. But it's holding a spiritual attachment that is disturbing his energy. You may have heard your son sigh deeply or cry silently behind closed doors. He's breaking down, piece by piece. And the worst part is, he doesn't know how to ask for help. His circle is shifting. People who once supported him are now turning cold. Their behavior isn't random, it's influenced by rumors and silent manipulations. Archangel Michael says, a turning point is coming. But if your son walks into it alone, it will break him. You must intercept it before it arrives. Type Amen to get blessing 50-50. He tried to make a confession recently, but someone shut him down. Made him feel weak. That moment broke his spirit more than anything else. A letter with false accusations is being drafted. It hasn't been sent yet, but it will be soon. And when it arrives, it will attempt to paint your son in a way that is far from who he really is. A woman has your son's name written on paper, not for prayer, not for blessing, but for harm. She's using spiritual rituals to send confusion, pain, and bad luck toward him. Her goal is to make him lose everything slowly. There's a group of young people who laugh with him during the day and talk about him at night. They've made him a topic. They don't see his heart, they only see competition. Type Amen to get blessing 636. There's a journey your son was meant to take, a literal or spiritual journey, but he's being blocked from it. Someone doesn't want him to move forward. So, they are planting distractions, doubts, and fake emergencies in his path. Your son had a dream or vision of something better, something more. But he's slowly giving up on it, believing the lies that say he's not good enough. Those lies are not from God, they are from people who fear his rise. A piece of jewelry or clothing he once loved is now missing. That item was tied to his identity, and its absence is making him feel exposed. Someone took it intentionally to strip him of confidence. Archangel Michael says, the war isn't over, but your awareness changes the outcome. You're being given this message not to worry, but to act. Act with wisdom. Act with love. Act now. Type Amen to get blessing 33333. Stay connected to him, even if he pushes you away. Sometimes love must fight past silence. And your son's silence is filled with pain that only your presence can soothe. You have more power than you think. You've been chosen to protect a son with a divine calling. That's why the attacks are coming, because the enemy knows your family carries purpose. Watch for the signs. Unusual patterns. Unexpected calls. Sudden mood shifts. These are not random, they are clues to something deeper. You've reached the right message. This wasn't chance. It's heaven's cry for you to protect what's still in your hands before it slips away. Type Amen to get blessing 999. Your son is closer to a spiritual breaking point than anyone around him realizes. He's holding in emotions that don't belong to him, pressures that were never his to carry. Each day he walks with the weight of fear, betrayal, and silent expectations choking the very light inside him. He recently saw or heard something that disturbed him deeply. It might have been a private conversation he wasn't meant to witness, or a message that shook him to the core. Whatever it was, it confirmed a suspicion he had been trying to suppress. Someone he respects is involved in this deception. That realization has crushed his spirit. To see someone he trusted become a silent enemy has left a scar that still bleeds when no one is looking. Archangel Michael says, "No evil plan formed against your son will stand if you act with divine urgency." The truth is hiding in plain sight, and your son is begging, through silence, for you to see what he can't say out loud. Type Amen to get blessing 414. There's a group of individuals watching his social media, tracking every post, every word. They're not just observers, they're orchestrators. They're using what he shares online to create stories, false perceptions, and lies that make him look like someone he is not. Your son needs to be spiritually cleansed. There's a heaviness in his aura, a chain in his energy that wasn't there before. This came from contact with a cursed object or individual who carries negative energy. One of your son's passwords may have been leaked. A digital trap is being set to invade his privacy and manipulate his identity. This is not just a cybercrime, it is spiritual warfare operating through technology. He feels defeated, yet he continues to pretend like everything is okay. He smiles, but his soul is drained. He laughs, but inside he's pleading for someone to notice the cracks. Type Amen to get blessing 3939. There's a room he avoids now, either in your house or elsewhere. The energy there disturbs him, and he doesn't even understand why. Something spiritual was done in that space, and he feels it subconsciously. You may find that his belongings have been rearranged, missing, or moved. That's not a coincidence. Someone has gone through his personal items without his knowledge, searching for something that isn't theirs. A photo he took with a person he no longer trusts is still circulating online. That photo is being used to tie him to someone else's mistake. But it's a distraction meant to confuse others and ruin his credibility. There's a whisper behind his name, one that echoes through family, friends, and even strangers. Someone is speaking about him with envy dressed as concern, feeding others a poison they disguise as truth. Type Amen to get blessing 1111. You may begin to notice items in your home malfunctioning suddenly, phones freezing, lights flickering, or devices acting strange. These are signs of energetic interference. What affects your son spiritually also disrupts the physical. He recently received a message that he hasn't told anyone about. It might be written, spoken, or spiritual in form. That message haunts him because it holds a hidden threat or warning. Someone in a position of influence is trying to make your son feel inferior. They are intentionally undermining him in group settings, making him doubt his own voice and talents. Their goal is to break him from the inside out. Archangel Michael says, the tide is about to shift. What was hidden will be revealed. But you must stand as the anchor before the waves try to drown your son's spirit. Type Amen to get blessing 3131. An older sibling or close friend is involved in this without even realizing the full scope. They are being used as a tool in a plan much darker than they understand. Their words are unintentionally damaging your son's hope. There is a teacher, mentor, or guide who holds a grudge against your son. They are blocking opportunities with subtle, calculated actions, refusing recommendations, twisting reviews, or planting small doubts in important ears. Someone laughed at your son's failure recently, right in front of others. What hurt wasn't the failure itself, but the betrayal of being mocked by someone he once considered safe. That wound is still open. Your son is craving to be seen, not just watched. There is a difference. Watching is passive. Seeing is love. Type Amen to get blessing 7272.